This is Anna Estrada of the Quantum Light Practice, and I just want to welcome you here to Pachamama's Blessing. So this is a beautiful tradition. The Pachamama's Blessing is a beautiful tradition from the Andean culture, and this would be Peru. And as you can see behind me, the Andean Sierra, this amazing high altitude shrine that was created in ancient times by the Inca culture in Peru. And so there's such a beautiful tradition here that just goes beyond culture, that goes beyond history, that is more ancient than the Inca people, that where we received, as humanity received this wisdom from the ancient ones, the ancient star civilizations, and the wisdom keepers. And part of this particular tradition from Peru has to do with some of the things that we're going through now as a culture on the planet right now. Which is a global paradigm shift. So in medieval times, around the 1500s, in the Inca culture, the Incas were an empire that spanned most of Western South America. So the Incas were the indigenous people, and they, through the years, they had conquered, they were a conquest culture. So they had conquered all the indigenous cultures all along the coast of South America. And they had created an empire, the Inca Empire, complete with a noble class, a king, a queen, and all the subjects, and as well as a class of enslaved people that were people that had been conquered by the Inca and had been absorbed. All their traditions were absorbed into the Inca culture. And I just want to share about this because it is a remembrance of the ways of humans and the ways of the gods and the ways of the cosmic star people that we are receiving this transmission from. And so in the 1500s, what happened is the Spanish came on the shores of South America. And so within the Inca Empire, there was a king and he had a brother. And these brothers were fighting at this time. At the very time that the Spanish came upon the shores, looking for gold, that was their purpose, looking for riches to bring back to Europe. This was going on within the Inca Empire. They were in full-blown civil war. Two brothers, Atahualpa and Huascar, they were fighting amongst themselves, and there was a civil war. So they were divided. These beings that had the power of this entire continent of South America, they were fighting amongst themselves. They were in civil war. And the way that the Spanish were able to come in and conquer this powerful, very powerful culture was through this division. So, and what they did was they kind of connected with one of the brothers and they said, look, we'll help you conquer your brother. And they did. And then when they killed the brother, then the Spanish turned around and arrested the brother they had helped for murdering the brother. So they turned on, the brother betrayed his brother to the Spanish, and then the Spanish betrayed him. And then the Spanish were, this is how the Spanish were able to come in and completely take over this land and take it away from the people, the native people there, which was a culture of tremendous power at that time. So this is a lesson for us. You know, this is a perfect example of divide and conquer, that when we are divided, it creates a leak. It creates an energy leak. And then these foreign entities can come in and establish themselves. And this can happen as a culture, like it did in the Inca Empire, and it can happen individually as well. So that's really what we're going to work with. We're going to work with this energy of like bringing forth, what is it inside ourselves that is divided? Where are we divided inside ourselves? So so that we can resolve that, so that we can heal that trauma, and then bring in these new frequencies of light that are coming forth with the new earth. So we've got to do this clearing. We've got to do this cleansing inside ourselves. We've got to come into balance inside. And when we talk about division inside ourselves, it's like, you know, the core division is not seeing ourselves as divine, as seeing the divine presence as something outside ourselves, not being able to fully connect with our own self, our own divine self. So that is the core wound, feeling disconnected and separate from ourselves, from that divine presence inside. And then we have other dualities that we're always navigating as humans, you know, spirit and matter, shadow and light, love and fear, and masculine and feminine, you know, like we're always navigating these different dualities. And so we want to bring those dualities into balance inside ourselves and into a state of equanimity and equality, so that we can, so that polarity softens. Because we'll always be dealing, as long as we're in a body and we're incarnate on this planet, there will always be polarities and dualities that we're playing with. But that extreme polarization, we can close the gap, and that separation softens, and we're able to navigate and really receive this that comes from doing this work, that comes from cleansing and balancing those polarities. We receive that fruit of inner peace, the peace that is unshakable, this connection to our own self and to the earth that cannot be broken. It's so strong. And that's what we're working on here in this circle and at this time as a culture on this planet. So that's a little introduction to what we'll be doing today. So as you can see, we are here, we're going to have a pilgrimage to the Andean Sierra. And so what happened when the Spanish came into Peru, there was a people called the Quero. This is a native people, and they were very aware of what was happening, of this paradigm shift that was occurring. And they chose to go high into the Andes Mountains, where, you know, the Spanish people could not even go there. These mountains are at very high altitudes. And there are high altitude shrines up on the peaks of these mountains. And the Quero people had this wisdom. They were the wisdom keepers, and they maintained this knowledge of Pachamama, of working with the star people, these amazing lineages from transmissions of ancient healing lineages of the Quero that were transmitted from these high peaks, from the mountains, from these very high frequency shrines in the upper world. You know, in the shamanic world, we work with the lower world, which can be related to the unconscious, you know, where we see these, this is where we do our ancestral healing. This is where we do these purifications of the inner field. And then we have the middle earth, which is our daily life as humans on the planet. And then we have the upper world, where we connect with these star people, and we connect with the wisdom keepers, and we connect with the ascended masters and the beings of light that support us in our daily life on the planet, as we become more and more embodied and sovereign. Okay. All right. So let's close our eyes, and we'll get started with this beautiful transmission of bringing in the new earth, Pachamama's blessing, seeding the new earth with divine love. So let's get started. And the first thing that we do, we just close our eyes and we take deep breaths into our bodies. And you become aware of that root chakra, the base of the spine, and breathe into that area of the body. And we connect the root chakra to the core of the earth, to Gaia. And Pachamama is an expression of Gaia, unique to the Andean culture. So we say hello to Pachamama and to Gaia, and securely fasten that energy cord from the base of your spine all the way to the core of the earth. And this is where we do all our work, from this foundation, from this connection inside ourselves. Take deep breaths. And you just feel this energy of Pachamama rising up through the soles of your feet, moving through all the energy channels of the legs, clearing the first chakra, the root chakra, just bringing in this fresh, vibrant earth energy, nurturing energy. This energy says, I've got you. You are not alone. You are supported. You are not alone. And we just surrender to this beautiful earth energy. We are interconnected with Gaia. We're just not separate. We are interconnected with each other and with the earth. And so this energy assists us in experiencing that. And then we call forth the cosmic light, the Quero, the ancient people from the Andean Sierra, the wisdom keepers who kept the knowledge of the shaman through all these years and held space for the global transformation that occurred. Sonoaha Shiniki, until the time that is now, Soroko, of bringing in the new earth. So we're calling forth that cosmic light, the Keto lineage, the Apus, the divine presence in the mountain peaks, coming in through the crown of the head. The galactic beings of light that communicate with us in the upper world. I'm also seeing the condor, which is the being of light, this magnificent bird with an amazing wingspan. So we're just seeing those beautiful wings. And we allow that column of light to enter in through the crown of our heads, just filling up our entire being with this light and this love from the upper world, this support from the galactic beings of light, the star peoples. And we just allow that energy to descend in through the crown of the head and to clear all the neural pathways of the brain. Because as we do this work, as we do this transformative work, there are shifts in the brain. There are shifts in the chemistry of the brain as we come into balance with the left and the right hemispheres, as we bring our duality, our inner division into balance. There are shifts in our thought patterns, in our emotions, in our perceptions. So when we do this work to clear the neural pathways of the brain, we're just assisting the body to shift. So just allow that light, every cell of the brain, to absorb this amazing light. Breathe in more light. And that light merges with the earth energy inside of our bodies in the heart. And you can see the earth energy and the cosmic light integrate in the heart area and then expand throughout the body, raising the frequency of the body, raising the frequency of matter. And you can see in your heart coming to the surface, because as so much light enters into the body, enters into the quantum field, we ask that this light illuminate whatever it is that we're ready to let go of, whatever is holding us back in making this transformation into the new earth. What is it in our own lives that we're experiencing that creates division inside of us? And we'll notice in the next few weeks leading to the winter solstice, we've noticed that our shadow is coming up to be revealed inside of us. And the more that we can observe this and allow this to occur without shame, without fear, we face it. We can face whatever's occurring inside of us, whatever emotions are being unearthed inside of us. We can face them, we can feel them. This is the most important skill that we can cultivate in this time, is to feel our emotions. Even if it's shame, even if it's regret, grief, challenging emotions. because we know that when we're able to process these feelings without escape, without trying to escape them, we become more embodied. We become more and more stable in our inner connection with the divine presence inside of us. Sonoshkoro sonokoa ha nishiki sonokoroa. So sometimes this may show up, these shadows may show up for a lot of us as feelings of unworthiness, states of consciousness that we've lived in the past when we believed that we were separate from the divine, that we felt that we weren't good enough, or we felt that we didn't deserve to have this connection, or we felt that something was wrong with us because we didn't fit in, or we weren't able to accomplish what we wanted to accomplish, or we weren't able to have the relationship we wanted, or we felt rejected. All of these kinds of things are coming up, and it may be a little off-putting in a way to have to deal with these feelings from the past. When we're ready to step into the new earth, it's not our favorite thing to do is feel challenging emotions from the past. But I am here to offer this support to assist you in processing these emotions, because I know that underneath those obstructions is power. If we can face those feelings and process those feelings, underneath there is your pure signature essence and power and your unique contribution to the world. So because those feelings, those energies, those vibrations obstruct your ability to fulfill your mission. So we use this time on the planet where so much shadow is being revealed in the collective and individually. We can celebrate, we can say, wow, finally, all of this is moving. And we celebrate it and we welcome it. We can feel it. We have the tools, we have the support. We have support of Gaia. We have the support of our guides. Gaia coming into her own balance and her own transformation. Supports us. So we're just going to allow that to come forth, whatever is coming up for you, and we place it on the altar of our hearts. We face it. We can feel it in this sacred container, in this moment. You can feel and allow so that that energy processes through you and it no longer holds you back. When it becomes conscious, that's when you're home free. So just bring those feelings, those vibrations into your awareness, and we're going to be receiving a light language transmission from the Quero shaman and the Apus of the Andean Sierra. So take deep breaths and allow that these patterns, just know these patterns are unraveling and recalibrating. So deep breaths. And we're calling forth this high altitude sacred sites. The vibration of the high altitude, this vibration clears the mind, purifies the mind. This cool, fresh light purifies the mind. So and the emotional patterns that create certain states of consciousness. So we're allowing this high altitude vibration to come in through the crown of the head, through this lineage of Kero shaman. And then some toning is coming forth. So just follow the sound. Deep breaths. These sound frequencies assist you to unravel those patterns of the mind. From the high altitude shrine, coming forth, the etheric temple at Machu Picchu is coming forth, that vibration of transformation. And it's a solar energy. So we're receiving these divine codes from the sun. Take deep breaths. And this transmission is going straight into the solar plexus, the power center, in your own body. As these emotions and these different patterns are unraveling, now we're receiving divine codes of sovereignty and embodiment and equanimity. So breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out, and then be aware of that connection, your grounding. We want to stay grounded, connected to Pachamama. So be aware of the root chakra and breathing, and your breathing. So bringing in the solar codes. So we're receiving a transmission from the solar. It's a solar gate that's at the entrance of Machu Picchu, and just many centuries of beings of light gathering there, seeding divine love for us to receive, seeding clarity, seeding sovereignty. So we're receiving that now. We're ready to receive that as we enter into this new phase of evolution. And this connection with our galactic brothers and sisters, this galactic support that is beyond culture, beyond human history, beyond the history of the earth. So we're receiving this galactic codes. So We just put our hands on our heart and breathe into the heart. So this connection with ourselves and with the universe. So kusunoahana chiki sunokoroana ki. So kushunoahana chiki sunokoroana ki. So this connection with our galactic brothers and sisters does not mean that we leave this dimension, or it doesn't mean that we escape. And it means that we become more and more embodied and more grounded and more connected to the truth of who we are and Gaia. And from that foundation, from that place, we have communication. And from that foundation, we connect with others. And then in this way, we become very strong. And we hold space just the way that the Keto held space for humanity, that held space for the wisdom keepers and the star people in the high altitude shrines in the Andes Mountains. In that way, we hold space for humanity now as we evolve. As we become multidimensional beings of light incarnate, holding space for the transformation of humanity. So kusra and the ascension of earth, of Gaia. So we come into alignment with the ascended Gaia. So and we receive support. So from the star people. So as they assist us to cultivate these multi-dimensional gifts and talents, the ability to travel in different dimensions, the ability to communicate through light language, and the ability to experience divine sight, seeing the divine in everyone and everything around us, in every experience, in the way that we see ourselves, in the way that we see every event that occurs in the outer world, we see through divine eyes. And then we just receive that divine sight into the solar plexus, the divine codes from the sun. So breathe out. And then bringing forth the joy ray, the hummingbird. Joy, experiencing joy in every moment. Even when we're in a challenge, we experience joy and peace inside ourselves. So that interconnection with the divine presence is constantly filling us with joy and peace. It's a mystical experience that comes from inside. And just receiving that beautiful blessing from Pachamama. Filling us with equanimity and trust in ourselves, in Gaia, in each other. Sorokoro anachi. The galactic beings of light say, we've got you. You are not alone. Soroko shoha nachiki sonokoro hanai. Soskoro sonoko showa. Soskoro shonokuswa. Soskoro shonokuwa hanai. And just receiving this light from this etheric temple in the Andes Mountains. Sonoha hashinike sonoko sonoha nai sonokoroa. Endurance. Sonoko shonoko sonoha nashiniki. Patience. Horoko no 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 anai. Sonoko sonokoro ananini siki sonoko sonoha nai. Shonoko nai nai nini sinki siniki siniki sonokoro nini. Sonoko shonokoro nini. Just wiping away any impatience, any feeling of like, when is this going to be over? So we're just being filled with patience and trust. Perseverance and strength. You can do it. Just bringing in more light into the brain. Bringing more balance and equanimity that naturally arises again from this inner connection. Into the heart, this final light language transmission is being received by the heart, soothing the inner self, this divine cosmic child that lives inside of us. This creative expression that comes from balancing the polarities inside ourselves. So we're showering this cosmic star child inside of us with grace and love, unconditional love and support, acceptance. Letting go of the past, completely letting go of the past so that we can receive the new earth and co-create this new reality. Just see this golden pink light entering in through the crown of the head. It's a rainbow ray of wholeness. And we receive that in our heart. Ono ai nai, sineki soro ai nai. Honoko no ai nai, soro kuru horo ai nai. Sinokuru ai ai ai, oro soro ai nai. Oso kuru hanai ya, ono kuru ai ai ya. Ono kuru hai nai ya, suru honu ai ya. Hini huru kai nai, suru kuwa, hini kuru ai ya. Horokunu hai na, siru suru ai ai ai. Oro aina siru kuru aina ia. Hanakara soruru ai ai. Hanakara aina ia siru kuru ai ai. Hanakura ai 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 suru kuru ai ai. Suruko hashikis kurusura hainai. Horuko ha nai Just allowing that integration in the heart. Be aware of your connection to Gaia. As we complete this transmission, we're filled with gratitude to the ancient peoples that came before us. As we receive their wisdom and their grace, as we receive their divine support, we offer so much gratitude to the sacred places of Peru, the Apus, the Quero people, the galactic beings of light that came through to offer us these high frequencies of light. Thank you. Offering so much gratitude to Gaia and Pachamama. Receiving her final blessing. Into our hearts. This is Anna of the Quantum Light Practice. Align with the divinity that is you.